Namaste everyone. We request all the participants to please put their mobile phones in silent mode. We kindly request all the participants and devotees to kindly switch off their mobile phones or to keep them in the silent mode. Thank you. Put their mobile phones in silent mode. We kindly request all the participants and devotees to kindly switch off their mobile phones or to keep them in the silent mode. Thank you. Put their mobile phones in silent mode. We kindly request all the participants and devotees to kindly switch off their mobile phones or to keep them in the silent mode. Thank you. Put their mobile phones in silent mode. We kindly request all the participants and devotees to kindly switch off their mobile phones or to keep them in the silent mode. Thank you. Put their mobile We kindly request all the participants and devotees to kindly switch off their mobile phones or to keep them in the silent mode. Thank you. Hello. Hello, mic check. Hello. Hello, mic check. Hello. Hello, mic check. Hello. Hello, mic check. Namaste everyone. We kindly request all the participants to please settle down fast. And we request all the participants to please come forward and occupy the front chairs first. Namaste everyone. We kindly request all the participants to please settle down fast. And we request all the participants to please come forward and occupy the front chairs first. Namaste everyone. We kindly request all the participants to please settle down fast. And we request all the participants to please come forward and occupy the front chairs first. Namaste everyone. We kindly request all the participants to please settle down fast. And we request all the participants to please come forward and occupy the front chairs first.
Check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Check. Check.
Hello, mic check.
लोचन विश्वमानव चिरवन्द्या इन्दुनिभानन सुन्दर लोचन विश्वमानव चिरवन्द्या जय वीरेश्वर विवेक भास्कर जय जय श्री विवेकानंद ढल ढल कांति सुविमल अधिगत वेद वेदांत प्रेम ढल ढल कांति सुविमल अधिगत वेद वेदांत त्याग तितीक्षा तपस्या उज्ज्वल चित्त निर्मल शांत त्याग तितीक्षा तपस्या उज्ज्वल चित्त निर्मल शांत जय वीरेश्वर विवेक भास्कर जय जय श्री विवेकानंद इंदुनिभानन सुंदर लोचन विश्वमानव चिरवन्द्य जय वीरेश्वर विवेक भास्कर जय जय श्री विवेकानंद
We request all the participants to please settle down fast. Volunteers, please guide our participants and devotees to their respective seats. And we kindly request everyone to please keep their mobile phones in silent mode. We request all the participants to please settle down fast. Namaste everyone, Jai Ramakrishna. We welcome you all to the SAMPRITI DIVAS Universal Brotherhood Day celebrations. I request everyone to welcome Most Revered Srimad Swami Suhitanandaji Maharaj, Swami Bodhamayanandaji Maharaj, Shri Srinivas Venkatraman Sir and Shri Sharat Vivek Sagar Sir onto the dais with a big round of applause. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, sir. Today, we are celebrating SAMPRITI DIVAS and we welcome you all to a special youth seminar commemorating the 131st anniversary of the historic Chicago addresses of Swami Vivekananda. May I now request Swami Siteshanandaji Maharaj along with brother monks to invocate the blessings of Bhagwan Sri Ramakrishna, Sharada Mata and Swami Vivekananda through Vedic chanting and prayer. May I now request Swami Siteshanandaji Maharaj along with brother monks to invocate the blessings of Bhagwan Sri Ramakrishna, Sharada Mata and Swami Vivekananda through
श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं महागणपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु आनो दिवो बृहतः पर्वताधा सरस्वती यजतागन्तु यज्ञं वाग्देव्यै नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया आस्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरि विश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। मधुवातार्तायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्नः सन्तोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषसि मधुमत्पार्थिवगुं रजः मधुद्यौरस्तु नः पिता मधुमान्नो वनस्पतिर्मधुमागुम् अस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्निर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता ह्य सर्वविद्यास्वरूपान्तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहं। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित् सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी। प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी। रुद्र अवतार भैरव हुंकार रुद्र अवतार भैरव हुंकार त्रास चराचर चारि। प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी। तेज दीप्त तव स्थिर कंठरवा तेज दीप्त तव स्थिर कंठरवा अबीरभी मंत्र प्रचारी। तेज दीप्त तव स्थिर कंठरवा अबीरभी मंत्र प्रचारी। नाशि भवामय दिये वराभय नाशि भवामय दिये वराभय निर्भर कर नार नारी। प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी। गावे अकिंचना तव गुण कीर्तन गावे अकिंचना तव गुण कीर्तन करो कृपा नयन निहारी। गावे अकिंचना तव गुण कीर्तन करो कृपा नयन निहारी। दीज पदाश्रय दीन दयामय दीज पदाश्रय दीन दयामय अपार करुणा भयहारी। प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी। रुद्र अवतार भैरव हुंकार रुद्र अवतार भैरव हुंकार त्रास चराचर चारि। प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी। प्रभु रामकृष्ण पद शरण जीवन जय विवेकानंद नामधारी। शृण्वन्तु विश्वे अमृतस्य पुत्राः शृण्वन्तु विश्वे अमृतस्य पुत्राः। आये धामानि दिव्यानि तस्थुः आये धामानि दिव्यानि वस्तुः वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तं वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् तमेव विदित्वा अतिमृत्युमेति तमेव विदित्वा अतिमृत्युमेति नान्यः पन्था विद्यते अनाय नान्यः पन्था विद्यते अनाय उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत प्राप्य वरान् निबोधत उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत प्राप्य वरान् निबोधत उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत प्राप्य वरान् निबोधत उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत प्राप्य वरान् निबोधत.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj, for making this the atmosphere in the auditorium so blissful. May I now request most revered Swami Suhitananda Ji Maharaj, Swami Bodhamayananda Ji Maharaj, Srinivas Venkatraman Sir and Sharat Vivek Sagar Sir to please come forward and light the lamp and invocate the blessings of the Holy Trio by offering floral tributes. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, sir. May I now kindly request Aradhyaksha Maharaj, Swami Bodhmayananda ji, to present the welcome address for today's event.
नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरिः ओम्. My humble pranams, salutations to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi and Swami Vivekananda. My humble pranams to our Vice President Maharaj of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, who has come all the way from our headquarters called Belur Math in Kolkata. My namaskars to Sri V. Srinivas to the extreme left, who is CEO and founder of Illumine Knowledge Resources, an education NGO for spreading the message of Vivekananda to the modern world. To my immediate left is Sri Sharat Vivek Sagar, who is founder and MD of Dexterity Global, an educational training center for most poor children of the country and taking them to higher levels of education excellence in the whole world. He has come from Patna in Bihar. I welcome all of them, offer my greetings, namaskar to Srinivas and Sharat Vivek Sagar, and my namaskar to our faculty members, my namaskar loving greetings to brother monks, and our devotees who are participating here, my namaskars, faculty members from various colleges, and a very, very good morning and welcome to all college students, all my young friends assembled here. Today is a very important day, not just a calendar day, September 11, 2024. Many September 11s we undergo every year. But September 11 per se every year adds one more to our inspiration and our action. A meditation on India, a meditation on the future of the universe, which was undertaken when? 131 years ago. Today is the 131st year of not a birthday of a person, not a freedom struggle, but we are celebrating the grand speech which Vivekananda gave in Chicago on this day, 1893. కొత్తగా వచ్చిన వాళ్ళకి ఇది వింతగా ఉంటుంది. చికాగో స్పీచ్ చిన్న వయసు నుంచి విని ఉంటారు మీరు. సిస్టర్స్ అండ్ బ్రదర్స్ ఆఫ్ అమెరికా. ఒక సన్యాసి అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి మాట్లాడంట, పని లేనివాడు. అలాగ రకరకాల భావాలు, రకరకాల ఆరోపణలు ఎదుగుతూ ఉన్నాయి దాని గురించి. But my dear young friends, youth of Hyderabad, we have assembled here accepting our invitation given to your colleges. This is not just ordinary September 11th. Before that, let me just take you back to May 31st, 1893. I repeat again, May 31st, 1893. When a ship from Mumbai, that time Bombay, was carrying this young man, young monk of only 29 years plus, along with another great thinker of India, a great industrialist of India by name Jamshedji Nasaronji Tata. These two mighty minds of India are going to the west along with other passengers. So, the story goes, the ship started from Mumbai port. It left the harbor in Bombay on the appointed day, 31st May 1893. And one can visualize a young Swami, a young monk, a young sannyasi by the name Vivekananda, standing on its deck, leaning against the rail and gazing at the fast fading landscape of his beloved motherland. What a multitude of pictures must have raced at the time through his mind. He is leaving India. He is leaving Bharatadesha to an unknown country called America. Don't forget, at that time we were not a free nation. We were called British Raj. Another name given to us of India was Colony of Queen Victoria. Colonization took place of this huge country by a few million British people. At that time, this monk is traveling to the west coast, to the United States. No NRIs, no United Nations, no Indian Embassy, no friends. But what is he taking in his personality that reflected on 11 September? I continue. He was carrying the image of his master, Sri Ramakrishna, whom you see in the center. That is Sri Ramakrishna, the Guru of Vivekananda, who made Vivekananda what he was from Narendra, trained him for 5 years. 1881, at the age of 18, a young college student came in contact with his master called Sri Ramakrishna. Then up to 1886, this university training went on. Not mathematics, commerce or engineering, but something deep you will understand now. So he is carrying Sri Ramakrishna with him. The Holy Mother, Sri Sharda Devi, who is the mother of the Ramakrishna order. When mother wrote a letter, then Vivekananda agreed to go to the parliament. Sri Saraswati sitting there in front of you. The brother disciples of Vivekananda, 16 of them, spread out in different parts of India. He is carrying them also in his heart. What a burden of memories this lad of 29, just 29, was carrying with him. Now it starts. The legacy of his noble parents, Bhuvaneshwari Devi, Vishwanath Datta. The blessings of his master, the wisdom learned from the Hindu scriptures, the knowledge of the West, his own spiritual experiences, India's past greatness, her present sorrow, the dream of her future glory, the hopes and aspirations of the millions of India's brown men, toiling in their brown fields under the scorching tropical sun, the devotional stories of the Puranas, the dizzy heights of Buddhist philosophy, the transcendental truths of Vedanta, the subtleties of Indian philosophical systems, the soul-stirring songs of the Indian poets and mystics, the stone carving and the frescoes of the Ellora and Ajanta caves, the heroic tales of the Rajput and the Maratha fighters, the hymns of the South Indian Alvars, the snow peaks of the towering Himalayas, the murmuring music of the Ganga, all these and many such thoughts fused together to create in the Swami's mind the image of Mother India. A universe in miniature, whose history, society were the vivid demonstrations of her philosophical doctrine of unity in diversity. Bahutvamulo ekatvam. Next. And could India have sent a son worthier than Vivekananda to represent her in the Parliament of Religions in Chicago? A son who had learnt his spiritual lessons at the feet of a man, Sri Ramakrishna, whose very life was a parliament of religions. A son whose heart was big enough to embrace the whole of humanity and to feel for all in its universal compassion. This is Swami Vivekananda going to America in 1893. He reached there by July, but he understood Parliament postponed to September. So it took a lot of time for him to adjust to the weather, to the food, to the attitude of those people in the West who have never seen a monk. And he is a brown man, not just a Negro. Negroes were all suppressed at that time. Thinking that he is a brown Negro, he was insulted everywhere. All this he drank like poison. He saved us. He helped us to represent India. On September 11, 1893, today is September 11, 2024. That anniversary of a speech. Last point I will tell before we invite our Revered Maharaj to speak. You have all heard what was the first 5 words of Vivekananda when he addressed them? Sisters and brothers of America. Getiga cheppandi. Enni padalu unnai? Count quick. Only 5. Only 5 common nouns. అది ఏమిటండి? అది చెప్పిన వెంటనే 7,000 మంది కరతాళ ధ్వనులు కాదు, అరుపులు, చైర్ మీద నుంచి పెద్ద పెద్ద వాళ్ళు, ద బెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద వెస్ట్, సైంటిస్ట్స్, రిలీజియస్ లీడర్స్, ఫిలాసఫర్స్, దే ఆల్ గాట్ అప్ అండ్ చీరింగ్ చీరింగ్ చీరింగ్. ఒక 5 సెకండ్లు చప్పట్లు కొట్టండి మీరు. జస్ట్ క్లాప్ ఫర్ 5 minutes, 5 seconds. All of you loudly. Stop. How much noise? How much sound? 600 people are here. Multiply 10 times. Imagine the sound in that auditorium. And not just for 5 seconds. It went on, Swamiji writes, for 2.5 minutes. అర్థమవుతుందా మై డియర్ బ్రదర్స్ అండ్ సిస్టర్స్? 2.5 నిమిషాలు ఎవరు చప్పట్లు కొట్టగలరా? అయోడెక్స్ కావాలి. ఆపేయండి అందరు మొబైల్స్. 2.5 minutes clapping and cheering. They forgot themselves. Something very deep you have to think, not just your daily life. That is why we celebrate that speech. And then he started the glory of Sanatana Dharma, the glory of universal toleration, universal acceptance, that beautiful speech that will be given to you when you go home after lunch. What happened that day, story for your personal study. So today we are thinking about it. We invited Revered Vice President Maharaj. He comes from the great lineage of Ramakrishna Vivekananda tradition. They are Sangha Gurus. And he has come all the way to spend 1 week with all of us in Hyderabad. Listen to his words of wisdom, appreciate, absorb, write down if possible. Then in the evening, program doesn't end now after lunch. Whoever can stay back, offer your tribute to Swami Vivekananda at 3:30. At 3:30 p.m. when he spoke in Chicago, 131 years ago. We all will go to Tangband Vivekananda statue. Read that speech at 3:30, which he delivered in Chicago, which is in printed form. Offer garland, offer some flowers, offer our namaskaram to Vivekananda. And then walk back. Not for protesting or not for breaking heads, but for evolving, for growing. We call it SAMPRITI DIVAS walk. Universal Brotherhood Day walk. So that will be for 1 hour and we disperse at 5 o'clock, offering our tribute. From tomorrow again, we start till next year what we can do for our country, our universe, our religion, our culture, our spirituality, ityadi. Programs will be there for the next 1 year and we'll be inviting colleges and youth to participate. So we welcome each one of you. Have a joyful learning. For a few hours and concentrate and then have the blessings of Swami Vivekananda. Once again, offering my pranam to Swamiji and greetings to all of you. May Vivekananda bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj, for such a warm welcome. I now request the volunteers and students of Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence to present a presentation on Swami Vivekananda's teachings inspired from his Chicago addresses.
Namaste. Swami Vivekananda had immense faith in the youth. He said, "My faith is in the younger generation, modern generation. Out of them, I will get my workers who will work out the whole problem like lions."
Swamiji always looked out for those men who can stand in the forefront and lead the nation. He says, men, these are wanted. Everything else will be ready, but strong, vigorous, believing young men, sincere to the backbone are wanted. 100 such, and the world will become revolutionized.
To create such men was formulated the idea of establishing VIHE. Today, on this auspicious occasion of SAMPRITI DIVAS and Silver Jubilee of VIHE, let us recollect few teachings of Swami Vivekananda.
Swamiji says, "I am born to organize these young men. Nay, hundreds in every city are ready to join me. I want to send them rolling like irresistible waves over India, bringing comfort, religion, morality, and education to the doors of the meanest and the most downtrodden. And this I will do or die."
Be it in any sphere, Swamiji quotes are relatable for every attribute of human life. For real education, Swamiji says, we need education that brings the strength of the mind is increased, and then intellect is expanded by which one can stand on one's own feet.
Referring to character building, Swamiji exhorted, "Neither money pays, nor name, nor fame, nor learning. It is character that can cleave through adamantine walls of difficulties. Character has to be established through 1,000 stumbles."
For building up self-confidence, Swamiji proclaims, "You know but little of that which is within you, for behind you is an ocean of infinite power and blessedness. Whatever you think, that you will be. If you think yourselves weak, weak you will be. If you think yourself strong, strong you will be."
For building up leadership, Swamiji proclaimed, one must crush all one's own self under the feet of the community. One must be a servant of servants. There must not be a shade of jealousy or selfishness. Then you are a leader.
For explaining practical patriotism, Swamiji says, practical patriotism is not a mere sentiment or even an emotion of love towards the motherhood. It is in passion to serve our fellow countrymen.
Swamiji explicits, even the least work done for others awakens the power within. Even thinking the least good of others gradually instills into your heart the strength of a lion.
It was on September 11th, 1893, that the unknown monk of India leapt into fame at the World's Parliament of Religions in Chicago and represented the whole of Indian nation and Sanatana Dharma in a foreign land.
Let us now listen to some experts of Swamiji's first and last
Address
speech
at the Parliament of Religions. On September 11th, he exhorts, I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. We believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religions as true. I am proud to belong to a nation which has sheltered the persecuted and the refugees of all religions and all nations of the earth. As the different streams having their sources in different places all mingle their water in the sea, so, O Lord, the different paths which men take through different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead to Thee. Sectarianism, bigotry, and its horrible descendants, fanaticism, have long possessed this beautiful earth. And I fervently hope that the bell that tolled this morning in the honor of this convention may be the death knell of all fanaticism, of all persecution.
In the final address on 27th September, Swamiji proclaimed, the Christian is not to become a Hindu or a Buddhist, nor a Hindu or a Buddhist to become a Christian, but each must assimilate the spirit of the others and yet preserve his individuality and grow according to his own law of growth. If the Parliament of Religions has proved anything to this world, it is this. It has proved to the world that holiness, purity, and charity are not the exclusive possessions of any church in the world, and that every system has produced men and women of the most exalted character. In the face of this evidence, if anybody dreams of the exclusive survival of his own religion and the destruction of the others, I pity him from the bottom of my heart and point out to him that upon the banner of every religion will soon be written, in spite of resistance, help and not fight, assimilation and not destruction, harmony and peace and not dissension.
India is free today. There have been some developments since independence, but many are yet to be achieved. With Swamiji's blessings, we need to take up the unfinished work. Swamiji says, I believe India will awake again if anyone could love from all his heart the people of the country.
Let us all work hard, my brethren. There is no time for sleep. On our work depends the coming of the India of the future. She is there ready, waiting. She is only sleeping. Arise and awake and see her seated on her eternal throne, rejuvenated, more glorious than she ever was, this motherland of ours.
Today, let us all take Swamiji's message forward and love India and serve India. Please repeat. जागो मेरे भारतवासी,
जागो मेरे भारतवासी,
समय नहीं है सोने का,
समय नहीं है सोने का,
लेकर संदेश स्वामी जी का,
लेकर संदेश स्वामी जी का,
करके कुछ दिखाने का,
करके कुछ दिखाने का.
Please repeat it louder.
उत्तिष्ठता,
उत्तिष्ठता,
जाग्रता,
जाग्रता,
प्राप्यवरान,
प्राप्यवरान,
निबोधता,
निबोधता.
Arise,
Arise,
awake,
awake,
and stop not
and stop not
till the goal is reached.
till the goal is reached.
Thank you, students, for such a powerful presentation. I now request Most Revered Swami Suhitananda Ji Maharaj, Vice President, Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission, to kindly grace us with the Benedictory Address.
Revered Swami Vivekananda and other monks present here, the respected speakers who are on the dais, the students who have come here all the way just to pay homage to Swami Vivekananda, especially on a particular date about the date Vivekananda has given the significance of the date, 11th September. We consider this date as some holy, pious date, as we consider our Shivaratri or Janmashtami. Similarly, we consider 11th September also such holy day. It gives us some sort of awakening, some inspiration. That's the reason this 11th September is very, very holy. Along with it, the students, the faculty who have come here, because they are the brain, they are the engine behind all these things. The students, they get their inspiration from the teachers. Their life, their teachings, their activities, their method of living, all these things give some inspiration. Naturally, these teachers, those faculty who have taken initiative in bringing these students here, certainly they deserve our acclamation. I humbly pay my homage and respect to these respectful teachers and the others who are present here, the guests and the audience and the devotees. Now I remember one interesting incident about this date. Once I was invited at Mizoram for some function. And Mizoram, you know, that it is a Christians. Mostly 95% people are Christians. And while naturally I was going to talk on Swami Vivekananda, some student stood up and he said, "We are Christians. We have Jesus Christ. Why again you want to put Vivekananda on us?" Then I said, "Yes, my brother, what you are saying, that is right. But is it not fact that Vivekananda was discovered by the Christians? And that is also not in India, but in foreign countries. Is it not fact?" Then they asked, "Is it so?" Well, yes. While Swami Vivekananda he was moving around in India in 91, 92, 93. At that time, nobody paid any heed. He was simply a wandering monk, just like any other monk. Only a few illumined souls are there. They could fathom that he had some potentiality. This much only. But whether he has got some assignment or he has some commitment to the world or to the society, that they could not assess. Luckily, when he came to Madras, at that time generally, Alasinga Perumal and Nanjun Rao and these few young college professors, they felt inspiration that here is some jewel. We can make use of him. We can do bring some new thing in India. So they made all arrangements to send Swami Vivekananda to America. And for that purpose, we will now should just remember with gratitude and respect to Alasinga Perumal. When Swamiji in America was in financial crunch, at that time he could not gather money because he was a petty school teacher. He could not gather money. So what he did, he requested his wife to sell her ornaments. And selling the ornaments, with that money he sent for Vivekananda to continue till 11th September. Then when on 11th September, what happened? Elena Stark, she has written a book, there she has mentioned Columbus discovered America. He discovered the soil of America, but Vivekananda discovered the soul of America. He discovered the soul of America. That what was the soul of America? Elena Stark mentioned that Americans, they have so many freeways, but they have no destination. They know to go, but where to go, that they did not know. Swami Vivekananda gave them their destination. Christians say, that means they are being tutored from their childhood that we are sinners. We are born, every person is human being, is a born sinner. But Swami Vivekananda said, ye the children of bliss, it is a blasphemy to call you a sinner. So that thing, this human being, they are not moving from error to truth, but from the lower truth to the higher truth, gaining experiences and experiences. A new message to the Christian community. Once Swamiji talked to some Christians, and he said, can you say that how a man is born sinner, this concept has come in Christianity? Adam and Eve, they took the apple. At that time they became sin. But before that they took the apple, what was they? Were they not perfect? Were they not divine? So this is the innate basic concept that humanity is. Swami Vivekananda went with that message. With that message to bring them the soul of America. This is the new message Swamiji went. There, Swamiji mentioned in one of his talks, just if you remove a few characters from the pages of history, what would remain? Just think, there is no Ramachandra, there is no Sri Krishna, there is no Buddha, there is no Chaitanya, there is no Jesus Christ, there is no Allah, there is no Vivekananda, no Ramakrishna, no Sarada. What would remain of the world? Swamiji has given the term, a bunch of brutes. Without these characters, this whole civilization will become just hell, a bunch of brutes only they will remain. Swamiji, we consider that Swami Vivekananda went to America and he delivered his talk, sisters and brothers, and he continues his journey here and there. Not that he wanted, but they wanted. They used to invite him, they bore all his expenses, took care of him, gave motherly care from family to family. In that way, he was invited there. And as a result, we feel that as if we have conquered America. We have conquered America. It is a blasphemy. We, especially the Vedantis, the Indians, they never conquered any country. We cannot do that thing. Then what is that? Suppose we are reading Newton, we are reading Euclid, we are reading Einstein. Do we consider that we have been conquered by them? Same was the thing. Because they were in need, it was some necessity of the world, it was a social necessity, so Swamiji's message was delivered there and it was marketed, I should say. That as if everybody wanted that a new message we are getting here. This is the concept. So, this Swamiji's, what impact he had, those of you who are in touch with Swami Vivekananda, we know. Then after coming back from America, when he came back India, at that time there was resounding effect. Because why? Because Vivekananda came, that means he has been accepted not by the Indians, but by the Christians. Because he has been accepted by the Christians, he has been accepted by the white complex persons, so Indians are started appreciating Vivekananda. Oh, he is an asset. We shall have to pay heed to him. So just see, we could not appreciate, but the white complexion Christian people, they could assess and appreciate Swami Vivekananda. So I'm coming back, what he did, we know that he started the organization, he started slowly, all these things came up. Sister Nivedita, she devoted her everything, so all of you may be knowing that her everything for India. She was a resourceful lady, saviors, they were well up persons in England. They gave up their all wealth, property, life, everything for the cause of Swamiji. They came to India and they started to help him. Goodwin, he came, he sacrificed for the cause of Swamiji. So these white complexion peoples, how much they have done. Nivedita once said, we those people who are moving with Swami Vivekananda, we know what Vivekananda is and what is his worth. But soon days will come when we shall leave the world stage. At that time, what would happen with Vivekananda? Vivekananda will go into obscurity. He will be no more be remembered like this as we are doing. At that time he will go into obscurity, means back to some people will gradually forget about him. But after 150 years he will again come back and come back with the thumping expressions. And that we find now. Now after 150 years, how much Vivekananda is wanted that we can find. Just Ramakrishna Mission, when Swamiji started, there was only 3 centers. During the time of Mahapurush Maharaj, 1934, there were 34 centers. And at present, we are having nearing 300 centers Ramakrishna Mission. And in India itself, 1,000 centers run by devotees. 1,000 centers run by devotees, not the Ramakrishna Mission. And outside, recently I had the fortune to visit so many centers. In Australia, we are having 5 centers, New Zealand 1 center, in Malaysia 1 center, Singapore 1 center, Japan 1 center, Ceylon so many centers, and in this America you all know 13, 14 centers are there, London center, everywhere the centers are there. And these centers are started not by the monks from Belur Math. These are run by the local devotees. They started, and afterwards, when they find that it is mature, they call, and we go there. Recently, I had some fortune to go to London. There, one professor, his Oxford University professor, she was invited to give a talk. She has composed a book, Guru to the World, with Swami Vivekananda, Life and Legacy. Big 800 pages book she has written. She's a historian. I have to talk with her. She was saying that it is not that I am a devotee. I am a historian. I was going through Indian history. While I was going through Indian history, at that time, Ram Mohan Rai came, and from Ram Mohan Rai, I slowly started to watch the movement, how India became free. There I could discover Swami Vivekananda. Then I started writing and reading and searching Vivekananda, and slowly I could find out that he is a multivariate genius. It is something wonderful, and he is not only for India, he is for the world. That's the reason I have given the title Guru to the World. Guru to the World. See, this is the effect of Vivekananda after 150 years. Another book, during the Corona time, we read Man Without Frontiers. It has been written by some Don Bosco abbot, father. He has written that book. I had a talk with him. That man was saying that I was instructed to do some research work on Swamiji. Why? Because the Christians, it was a Catholic institution, so they wanted that to find out, to represent Vivekananda, that his contribution is nothing original, but he has simply carbon copied the Catholic religion, Protestant religion, and he has dished it in an Indian fashion. With that motive, I started my venture. And gradually, the more I read on Vivekananda, I was stumbling on something wonderful. And ultimately, I had to admit and write this book, Man Without Frontiers. In any field, Vivekananda is superlative, unparalleled in his physical feature, in his debate, in his talk, in his delivery, in his meditation, in his feeling for others, why not? In his patriotism, in his sharing with other countries. Every sphere, this man is superlative. Naturally, I have given the title Man Without Frontiers. I will just, you know that today's words are there. Buddha Mahananda wanted to insert into your mind the sisters and brothers of America. What is the meaning of the sisters and brothers of America? Generally, these two relations, the sisters and brothers, I feel probably Goddess Saraswati poured these things, these few words, through the tongue of Swamiji. Because brothers and sisters, they are always having really no jealousy, no competition. They will always have the relation of cooperation, the brothers and sisters. So that's a new mantra has been given to the world by Swamiji, the sisters and brothers. And first sisters, then brothers. This is the present necessity of the world. At that time, we know the Darwin's time, this survival of the fittest and sexual selection, that is the process of civilization. But Swamiji said, no, it cannot be. That can be applicable for the lower beings. But for human beings, it cannot be. It is a sense of cooperation, no competition. So this is the sisters and brothers of America. And as a result, what has happened, as Ruth Harris has said, that she found that India got freedom through Vivekananda. And afterwards, what happened? The world has become free. If you turn over the pages of history, you will find that one country after first India became free, then other country, another country, another country, another country. Now almost all the countries are becoming more or less free. All the countries have become free. Swamiji, that is the reason, in appreciation of this freedom, has composed a poem that is to the 4th of July. Why 4th of July? Swamiji was there in Kashmir. At that time, some American ladies were MacLeod and Olive, they were along with him. So he felt that 4th of July is the birthday of America. Let us celebrate it, that their birth celebration, birthday of American. So he painted a flag and made some cake and something like that. And in honor of that, he wrote a poem to the 4th of July. If you read that poem, you will find what he is writing there, that till every man and every nation feel that I am free from all bondage, I shall not rest. I shall not rest. This is this feeling of Swamiji to the 4th of July. I will now finish with one incident. Probably MacLeod was to consider herself as a friend of Vivekananda. He never considered that I am a disciple of Vivekananda. She had that sort of relation, friendly relation with Vivekananda. MacLeod came from some royal family. Naturally, she had some communication with the princely families. Once he had the opportunity to meet Kaiser, the Emperor of Germany. MacLeod said that when I met Kaiser was very tall figure, more nearly 6.8 feet tall and hefty figure. So when I shook hands with Kaiser, I considered myself very pygmy, very small as if. But when I got the opportunity to shake hands with Swamiji, I immediately felt that I am as big as Swamiji. That means the moment you touch Swamiji, you will be big. This is the spirit of Swamiji. Swamiji himself said, come to me, I shall make each one of you 20. That means the moment you touch Swamiji, the 20 persons potency will come in you. Jai Swami Vivekananda.
Thank you, Maharaj. We offer our humble pranams to revered Maharaj. Now, our revered Maharaj will be taking leave, and there is a short We thank revered Maharaj for his graceful presence. So all the participants, now everybody please settle down. Now we'll be having a 5 minutes break. So all the participants, whoever wants to go to washroom or drink water, can leave now. All the volunteers, please guide our participants and please assemble in the auditorium within 5 minutes, that is by 12 o'clock, I request everyone to please settle down in the auditorium. I request everyone to maintain a little silence with less talk and more work. Please complete your necessities and come back to the auditorium within 5 minutes. Thank you.
NCC staff, NCC boys, please help and see that the team comes back, all comes back within 5 minutes. Please take responsibility. Our National Cadet Corps. కొంచెం हेल्प చేయండి करो थोड़ा सेवा करो सबको बुलाओ 5 मिनट में.
We request all the participants to come back to the same hall after drinking water and completing your necessities.
से स्वराज मिला है, रक्षा उसकी करने का।
एक है हम सब भारतवासी, दुनिया को दिखलाने का।
बहु कष्टों से स्वराज मिला है, रक्षा उसकी करने का।
एक है हम सब भारतवासी, दुनिया को दिखलाने का।
लेकर संदेश स्वामी जी का, करके
जय वीरेश्वर विवेक भास्कर, जय जय श्री विवेकानंद।
hello.
वीरेश्वर विवेक भास्कर, जय जय श्री विवेकानंद।
Hello.
सुंदर लोचन विश्वमानव
Hello.
Hello.
सुंदर लोचन विश्वमानव चिरवंद्य। जय वीरेश्वर विवेक भास्कर, जय जय श्री विवेकानंद।
We request everyone to please settle down fast.
प्रेम ढल ढल कांति सुविमल, अधिगत वेद वेदांत। प्रेम ढल
We request all the participants to come back to the hall. Volunteers, please guide the participants towards the hall.
त्याग तितिक्षा तपस्या उज्ज्वल, चित्त निर्मल शांत। त्याग तितिक्षा तपस्या उज्ज्वल, चित्त निर्मल शांत। जय वीरेश्वर विवेक
We request everyone to please settle down fast.
सुंदर लोचन विश्वमानव चिरवंद्य। जय वीरेश्वर विवेक भास्कर, जय जय श्री विवेकानंद। कर्म भक्ति ज्ञान त्रिशूल धारण, छेदन जीव मोह बंध। कर्म भक्ति ज्ञान त्रिशूल धारण, छेदन जीव मोह बंध। ब्रह्म परायण नमो नारायण, देहि देहि चरणारविंद। ब्रह्म परायण नमो नारायण, देहि देहि चरणारविंद।
We request everyone to please come inside the hall. Students at the back, please come inside the hall and take your respective seats. We request everyone to please come fast. All the volunteers, please guide. Please bring back all the participants into the hall. Students at the back, please come inside the hall. We request everyone to please settle down fast. Welcome back everyone. Now the students of Yoga Adhyayan Shibir from Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence will be performing chanting and yoga. The students that we have here are from the Yoga Adhyayan Shibir. They come every day in the morning and in the evening and learn yoga here in Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence. Now they will be performing chanting followed by yoga presentation.
Namaskar to everyone. Jai Shri Ramakrishna. I am going to tell you about Patanjali Yoga Sutra's importance. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali is one of the most important, renowned and revered texts in the world of yoga. These texts are collection of short verses or aphorisms known as sutras in Sanskrit. They serve as a map and step-by-step guide to cultivate wisdom, understand our nature, and attain self-realization through the practice of meditation. The Yoga Sutras are estimated to have been written between 500 BC. They are regarded as the basis of yoga, philosophy, and foundation of the practice of yoga. These Yoga Sutras are considered to be the foundational text to Raja Yoga. Thank you.
तीव्रसंवेगानामासन्नः मृदुमद्यादिमात्रत्वापतो विशेषः ईश्वरप्रणिधानाद्वा क्लेशकर्मविपाकाशयैरपरामृष्टः पुरुषविशेष ईश्वरः तत्र निरतिशयं सर्वज्ञत्वबीजं स पूर्वेषामपि गुरुकालेनानवच्छेदात् तस्य वाचकः प्रणवः तज्जपस्तदद्दभावनं ततः प्रत्यक्षेतनादिगमोऽप्यन्तरायाभावश्च व्याधिस्यानसंशयप्रमादालस्य विरतिभ्रान्तिदर्शनालब्धभूमिकत्वानवस्थितत्वानि चित्तविक्षेपास्तेऽन्तरायाः दुःखदौर्मनस्याङ्गमेजयत्वश्वासप्रश्वासविक्षेपसभुवः तत्प्रतिषेधार्थमेकतत्त्वाभ्यासः मैत्रीकरुणामुदितोपेक्षाणां सुखदुःखपुण्यापुण्यविषयाणां भावनातश्चित्तप्रसारणं प्रच्छब्दनविदारणाभ्यां वा प्राणस्य विषयवती वा प्रवृत्तिरुत्पन्ना मनसः स्थितिनिबन्धिनी विशोका वा ज्योतिष्मती वीतरागविषयं वा चित्तम् स्वप्ननिद्राज्ञानालम्बनं वा यथा विमतध्यानाद्वा परमानुपरममहत्त्वान्तोऽस्य वशीकारः क्षीणवृत्तेरभिजातस्येव मने गृहीतृग्रहणग्राह्येषु तत्सदञ्जनता समापत्तिः तत्र शब्दार्थज्ञानविकल्पैः संकीर्णा सवितर्का समापत्तिः स्मृतिपरिशुद्धौ स्वरूपशून्ये वार्तमात्रनिर्भासा निर्वितर्का एक एव सविचारा निर्विचारा च सूक्ष्मविषया व्याख्याता सूक्ष्मविषयत्वं चालिङ्गपर्यवसानम् ता एव सबीजः समाधिः निर्विचारवैशारद्येऽध्यात्मप्रसादः ऋतम्बरा तत्र प्रज्ञा श्रुतानुमानप्रज्ञाभ्यामन्यविषया विशेषार्थत्वात् तज्जः संस्कारोऽन्यसंस्कारप्रतिबन्धी तस्यापि निरोधे सर्वनिरोधा निर्बीजः समाधिः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु.
Now, thank you very much, very wonderful meditation. Now, we'll having a yoga performance by Yoga Shibir students.
स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् शान्ति 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 शान्ति
What a spectacular performance it was. Please give them a big round of applause. These students are the Yoga Shibir students from VIHE. Moving forward in our session, I request our Adhyaksha Maharaj, Swami Bodhamayananda ji, and our guest speaker, Srinivas Venkatraman sir, and our guest speaker, Sharath Vivek Sagar sir, to please come on to the dais. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, sir. It is my pleasure to introduce Shri Srinivasa Venkatraman, sir. Srinivas, sir, is the founder, CEO of and a lead researcher of Illumin Knowledge Resources. Prior to the Illumin, he co-founded and co-led INFAC, a company that pioneered the production of industry reports from 1989 to 1996. Srinivas, sir, is an alumnus of IIT Bombay and IIM Ahmedabad. As founder and CEO of Illumin, some of the questions and theories where Srinivas sir has been engaged with include how to design methods for scaling knowledge and based change, how to empower people at a cognitive level, how to build collective capacities for change and evolution, how to solve the growth with roots problem in institution, how to help people go beyond intellectual comprehension to assimilation of ideas. Sir developed his theories in the light of real-world experiences. Sir carried out envisioning exercises in more than 25 to 30 different contexts. These envisioning exercises were from corporates, industrial groups, industry associations, government agencies, and educational institutions, all with the goal of envisioning a sustainable future. The topics Sir have ranged from innovation, creating a culture of contribution, combining competition with collaboration, build organizational purpose, citizenship in context, and etc. I now request our guest speaker, Srinivas Venkatraman sir, to kindly address the gathering.
My Shastang Pranam to Revered Suhitanji Maharaj, and my pranams to Revered Swami Bodhimayanji and to the other monks here. And hearty greetings to all of you. The Swami Ranganathananda, who is the founder of this institute, he used to talk about two different types of greatness. There is one kind of greatness which we see, which is very prominent for some time and which then recedes over time. It comes down. For example, film stars, cricketers, all these kinds of people who are there, when they are the popular, when they are known, at that time thousands and millions of people are mobbing them and they are there in everybody's mind. But 10, 20 years later, 25 years later, another generation of cricketers have come, another generation of film stars have come, and they have gone away. So for them, their greatness recedes in time, it comes down over time. But there is another class of people whose greatness increases over time. For example, if you take Jesus Christ, when he came 2000 years ago, at that time he was crucified. But from then onwards, his greatness and his influence went on increasing. Same with Buddha. Same with some of the greatest people in history. We find that when we are trying to understand Swamiji, we have to understand him in the light of the second kind of greatness. Because Swamiji's relevance and importance in the world will not go down, it increases over time. So if he was relevant in 1893, he is much more relevant today. And he will be even more relevant 100 years from now. And his importance and the criticality of what he said to the problems of human life will become even more important in the years to come. Therefore, when we have to now, when we are trying to understand Swami Vivekananda, and we have heard a little about his Chicago address, we have heard about what he kicked off. He put, in a sense, the first bomb into the world of a new set of ideas, a new vision for mankind on September 11th, 1893. After that, he put many more bombs, many more thought bombs, many more powerful new seeds of a new civilization. He did it for 3 years, first there, then he came back to India. He did it in India, in his lectures from Colombo to Almora, across the country. Again he went back to the West. He did it again. So over the next few years, he spread and he poured these seeds into the world consciousness. These seeds are slowly, or they are not just seeds, they are bombs actually, because they are transformative in nature. They are slowly sprouting across the world. And as they are sprouting across the world, they are beginning to, you will find that the fruits from these trees, the seeds he has put, out of them will be formed plants, trees of various kinds, and the fruits from these plants will actually give, thousands and millions of human beings, food for their hunger, and it will actually help them in their times of distress. How is this happening? What is this process that is happening? So this is what I'd like to share with you by talking about 6 or 7 themes which we are seeing today in the contemporary world. We see it around us in different parts, and we can see the growing relevance of Swami Vivekananda for addressing those challenges that mankind is facing today. The first and most important one, which you can see right across geopolitics, across the globe, is religious fundamentalism. You can see, for example, in Israel today, when you are seeing the fight there, you are actually seeing, in a sense, a fight between Muslims and Jews. You are seeing, for example, in different parts of the world, these kinds of tremendous divisions between religions. But if you go back, you will find that the solution to that problem which we are seeing today was put by Swamiji in that Chicago address, almost in the first few lines itself, where he is talking about how to bring about, first of all, harmony of religions. And he talks about asking us to go beyond the religion and all the divisions which religions give, and go underneath the divisions that religions give, and find instead the unity that comes by focusing on the spiritual essence of all religions. When we go deeper, when you look at religions, you look at differences. When you look at the core of all religions, which is the spirituality, you find unity, you find universality, you find oneness, you find harmony. Now that message of Swamiji has been silently spreading through the last 100 years. You find that this idea of spirituality is not only in India, you find it spread across the West. You find it in many places, in many countries, for example. For example, if you find in Europe, you find churchgoers have come down. But the number of people who are interested in spirituality have gone up. And these are people, because that message of spirituality has increased. And not only that, it is the same message of spirituality which Swami Ranganathananda put in a wonderful phrase. He says that we need to move from static piety to dynamic spirituality. What did he mean by static piety? What he meant was that we, instead of being just simply having empty religiosity, just going to temples, coming back and not allowing it to impact our lives, He talked about saying that you need to have a dynamic spirituality, which is an idea proposed, which was the message of Swamiji in a sense to the world. And that dynamic spirituality which you see is what will give us also strength. If we adopt the message of dynamic spirituality in our lives, then we will find that we do not have to necessarily, coming to Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence is not about trying to become more religious, but to become more spiritual. And what does that dynamic spirituality means? It means finding the strength within ourselves. It means trying to actually manifest infinite possibilities which are inside each one of us. It means finding tremendous source of Atma Shraddha and self-esteem inside each of us. It is about manifesting all those inner qualities in us, heroism, strength, courage, all those qualities which allows us to not only face life's adversity, but also achieve so many great things in our life. In fact, every one of us in this room, many of you here, are secretly searching for that sauce, that secret sauce for success, for achievement, for that secret sauce Swami Vivekananda already gave. And that is actually finding the seed of dynamic spirituality inside each one of you. So when you come to these places, when you search for dynamic spirituality and when you try to find it in yourself, that is when it awakens, then therein lies, for example, the secret sauce that will make you also successful. So that also was the message of Swami Vivekananda 100 years ago. Next, when you look around, you find that it is not only about this whole religious conflict that you see around us, but you see something else happening. You also see that there are narrow ideals across us in society. You look at the world of politics, you can see idealism fall. If you take 175 years ago, there was an idealism that was there in politics, there was an idealism that was there in business. Whether you take Jamshedji Tata, you take all these people, there was an idealism with which many of them approached different parts of life. If you took doctors, they approached their work with idealism. Lawyers, many of them approach their work with a larger idealism. What does idealism mean? It means looking at our work from a higher plane, looking at it from a higher purpose, looking at it from a higher vision of life. And if those ideals start falling, you find that as they start falling, we become more and more transactional in nature. Everything is only about give and take of money. Everything is only about what's in it for me. Now, if for example you find that idealism falling in a doctor, it affects us when we go to a hospital. In a hospital, when you go, suppose you have some near and dear one going to the hospital, you don't want a doctor who is transactional, who is all the time seeing how to make money out of you by trying to send you for more tests. You want a doctor who has some idealism in him or her. Similarly, if you go to a lawyer, you don't want a lawyer who is trying to extract out of you and go there and try to have more and more hearings and stretch the case instead of giving you a positive outcome. You want a lawyer who is going to have some kind of idealism in that lawyer so that he is able to do what is good for you. If you go to a school, if you go to a coaching class, you don't want a teacher who is going to be transactional and who is going to have narrow ideals, who is going to sit down there and try to only extract money out of you without trying to impart in you education, impart in you self-confidence, give you the ability to do well in your exams. At that time you want a teacher with some kind of idealism which is there. If you go, for example, to a government office, you don't want a government servant who is going to sit there and deal with you in a way where for every small thing which is his duty, if he is going to extract money from you and say, unless you give me a bribe, I will not work for you. You don't want that kind of a bureaucrat working with you, right? At that time you want idealism in others. Similarly, others want idealism for us. We don't have idealism, we cannot expect idealism from others. If we do not carry high ideals, we cannot expect others around us to carry high ideals. So if we want to rebuild that idealism in society, that idealism again starts with us. And that message of idealism, that message that we need to live for great ideals, that message Swami Vivekananda reawakened in our nation 100 years ago. He reawakened it and he asked, and it is that idealism that inspired hundreds of freedom fighters to lay their life down for the country. It is what made Subhash Chandra Bose fight for the country. It is what gave so many different, it in fact made even Mahatma Gandhi say that his love for the country, Mahatma Gandhi said that after reading Swamiji, my love for my country went up 1,000-fold. So it inspired thousands of freedom fighters to stand up, give up comfortable lives, give up life only of empty and small success, and go out there and serve the country and try to attain independence for us. It is that independence which these people with idealism, which they got for us, it is that independence that we are enjoying today. Today we have the fruits of independence, that we can go anywhere in this country. You do not have clubs saying dogs and Indians not allowed in India anymore. You do not have that. You do not have, it is not as if your access to anything is prevented. You are not answerable to some lady sitting in some Queen Victoria or equivalent sitting in thousands of miles away in a small island. You are electing your own leaders. That has come because of those people with idealism who actually gave their life. That idealism Swami Vivekananda awakened in us. And that idealism is the need of the hour today also. Swami Ranganathananda, when he mentioned the ideal of enlightened citizenship. He says we do not want to be only political citizens in this country. We have to become enlightened citizens. Citizens who take responsibility for this country. Citizens who think beyond themselves. Who are not only imagining that the purpose of our life is to fulfill our pockets and the rest can go to hell. That is not what is idealism. That is not what is enlightened citizenship. So that message of enlightened citizenship has been re-given to this country. It is there in our society. It is there in our culture for thousands, but it was forgotten. It was lost in 1,000 years of slavery. It stayed slowly, steadily, it was lost and completely buried underneath. It was Swami when the social reformers came, they did social reform, so they brought in a kind of a social idealism. But it is Swami Vivekananda who awakened in us a national idealism. He awakened in us an idealism that combines nationalism with spirituality. A nationalism with spirituality and with self-growth. So this triple kind of idealism he gave in us. An idealism for self, idealism for country, idealism for society, all this he awakened in us in a powerful way, which is what his vision was for us. That also is a message that began in that 1893 address, and that went on resounding through each subsequent talk of his, and that same message is there in our country, and it is more needed by each one of us today. If each one of us today adopts that message of idealism, our lives will be blessed. Our lives will be strong because of that. We will become change makers in society. We will be all the things that we admire in others, we will find them manifesting in our lives. And therefore Swamiji is even more important to us today than ever before. Let us look at a third area of our lives, which is work. If you go and talk to people even in corporations across the world, not only in India, you talk to multinational corporations, they talk about alienation from work. They talk about loss of meaning in work. They talk about a gap which they face. We talk to so many senior people from organizations at so many top levels. They all say that there is so much of alienation and loss of meaning at work. People don't find work enjoyable at all. They are willing to leave at a drop of a hat. If you meet many companies, one of the biggest problems they face is what they call attrition. 20%, 30% of the staff leaves every year. That means 1 out of 5 workers is leaving every year. When that kind of attrition is taking place, when people are jumping from job to job, why are they jumping from job to job? Because they are searching for meaning. They are searching for something worthwhile to do. They are saying, no, I don't want to work for money alone. In fact, if you know about National Panasonic, the founder of all those, National Panasonic electronics, all these things, they were founded by someone called Konosuke Matsushita. In fact, he also wrote about this idea when he said, not for bread alone. That not for bread alone, not for money alone, that idea we find that people are looking for in workplaces today across the world. After COVID, that has worsened. People went and found that when they were away from work for 1 year for so many months, they realized that what am I doing at work? It is just an endless cycle of activity, endless cycle of money making, endless cycle of going up the ladder. What am I doing with my life? So that feeling entered into thousands and millions of people. It led to what they call the Great Resignation, where so many people started leaving companies everywhere. But what is the answer to that? The answer to that, first of all, is Karma Yoga. The answer to that is to see work as intrinsically meaningful. To see that the purpose of work is the development of self and the development of others in a different way. It is actually trying to do work in a radically different way from how people are doing it today. This message, first given by Krishna on the battlefield of Mahabharata, was given back to people in a modern language with modern ideas by Swami Vivekananda. And that is again something which is the message of today's time. Today again we have to go back to these fundamentals of why we are working, how we are working, why should we work, and what is the method of working, what is the how of work. Are we only doing work for the sake of, simply filling our stomach? Even if we are doing social service, are we doing social service only because we are distributing some rice or distributing some goods to others? Or we are doing it because through that the other person is uplifted and we are uplifted even before that? And if we are able to recognize this cycle, this positive cycle, that is also the message of Swami Vivekananda for the modern world. And he says, think about work in a different way. But he doesn't stop there. He also says that each one of us has to actually become an active contributor to the country. We have to take ownership and responsibility and contribute. Contribute to self, contribute to organization, contribute to society, contribute to nation. Expanding zones of contribution each one of us have to make. You might think, oh, that is Swamiji has said it. But let me tell you, yesterday, before catching a flight to come to Hyderabad, I had a talk in a company which is actually one of the largest steel makers in the world. Largest steel makers. And there was a discussion with the CEO, and when I mentioned the word contributor, he says, yes, that is the word we need. All our people need to become contributors. So we are not talking about something which is theoretical or which is sitting in the boundaries of a mutt or sitting somewhere. It is this mutt is actually only giving solutions which are at the heart of society. So the solutions you pick up in VIHE are the solutions to day-to-day life which you have to go, and when applied in day-to-day life, you will find that they are the solutions to your day-to-day life. That is why you are coming here actually. You are coming here to get solutions so that you can solve the problem of day-to-day life. The CEO is trying to solve that problem. He doesn't know where to go. Several years back, we had done a program called Citizen SBI for state bankers. But do you know how we connected with State Bank? Because at that time, State Bank chairman went searching for an answer, how to help my people serve others. And you know where he went? He went to Ramakrishna Mutt in Belur Mutt and he met Smarnanji Maharaj. He met Revered Smarnanji Maharaj, and like that one by one they found, and that is how finally we connected with him. And then he said, yes, can we now do it for all our people? Can they teach him why I must serve? Why? Because every employee otherwise thinking, why should I serve others? Let me only go there for my own benefit. But the idea that by serving others, I am also benefited even more than he who gives is far more benefited than he who takes. If I am paraphrasing Shakespeare there, but the idea is that. And that idea, those ideas for Karma Yoga, for is all which is needed for the present day, Swamiji has given. And therefore we must study Swamiji, not read Swamiji, but study Swamiji. And if we study Swamiji, we will get these answers in whatever bigger or smaller way we can. Look at the problem of technology. Technology is bringing up a whole new set of issues. Take the idea of social media. Take, for example, social media itself. Almost all of us in this room are on social media. But the biggest challenge of social media is not that it allows us to put out photographs of ourselves every day. That is not the problem. That is what social media seems to do for us. But actually the problem of social media is that it reduces our self-esteem. It makes us dependent on others. If a young person does not get likes from others, then that person feels depressed. That young person feels, oh, I am getting depressed that nobody has liked my post. Nobody is liking my photograph. So we are becoming more and more and more dependent on what others think of us rather than what we can be ourselves. Where is this problem coming from? It's coming from social media. But what is the antidote to that problem? The antidote to that problem is intrinsic confidence. Confidence that comes from within rather than extrinsic confidence. Confidence that comes because others are clapping. If you are going to only feel confident because others are clapping, that confidence will go away when others stop clapping. We have seen this happen even for superstars. In the, you know, the Hindi film superstar Rajesh Khanna in the 1970s. He was a superstar and everyone would try to dress like him and wear hairstyle like him. One day people lost interest in him and he went downward into a spiral. He became an isolated person and he almost became a complete loner completely and lost all confidence. Why? Because it was extrinsic confidence. Confidence dependent on others. If my teacher tells me I am good means that's extrinsic confidence. If I build confidence in myself, then that confidence is intrinsic confidence. That confidence stays. With social media, it will give you, it only erodes your intrinsic confidence. So we have to build our intrinsic confidence to even deal with social media. And that intrinsic confidence is again the message, Atma Shraddha. That message is the message that Swamiji has given all of you. Again, that is something we need today. You take artificial intelligence, you take all these new technologies which are coming. All of them are actually trying to routinize work. They are actually saying that anything which is routine in your work, we will automate. It's already happening. Some years ago, we worked with TCS, Tata's consultancy services. And you know what was the problem they said? They said our problem is this, that people are there, AI is coming, all these new technologies are coming, then the routine work which is there, we don't need them. We don't need thousands of people. They will lose their job. They will lose their job because there is nothing for them to do. They have learned one old some software program and come here. But they will lose their job because their new technologies will take away. I can do it on machine at 1/10 of the cost or 1/100th of the cost. Why should I then keep all these people, expensive people, and manage them? Then what is the solution? He says the solution is continuous growth, continuous evolution. Unless they evolve every day, they learn every day, they strengthen themselves every day, they are not going to be able to cope with the new world of technology. They will not be able to deal with AI because AI will take away jobs. It will take away knowledge also. You are learning some things in your work. ChatGPT does that in 1/10 of the time. If you think you are an expert, Some young fellow will come who is even younger than you, will come and say, I can do it, and with ChatGPT I will show you even a better looking report than what you can give. This is a reality of our life. So what is the solution? The solution is continuous growth, continuous evolution. That too is the message of Swamiji. That too is the message, that unless there is continuous growth and evolution, unless there is a continual desire to actually grow in every way that we do, that is also something that we all need to learn. You take education for example. You see the latest books on education, which are there in the top universities in the world. If you take for example University College London for example, it is considered to be number 1 in education according to world rankings, educational world ranking. You see the textbooks they are using, and in the textbooks you see the content. They are all slowly step by step coming towards Swamiji's vision of education. That education, how education comes from within, how education is a process of discovery, how education is a process of assimilation of knowledge. These ideas of Swamiji which you see, Swamiji has just given it in one quote. Whole theories are being written on it now across the world. People from various countries are starting to write on it. He just finished off all these topics. Therefore I say we cannot read Swamiji. We should read Swamiji when we want to be inspired today. But if we want to build our life for tomorrow, we should not only read Swamiji. We have to study Swamiji. And when we study Swamiji, we will find in every paragraph some solutions to our problems and to our issues. And the more the world will start discovering Swamiji, the more the world will study Swamiji, the more it will find in every page seeds which are there as solutions to the problems of today and the problems of tomorrow. Not the problems of yesterday. If 20 years from now, I am making a very important statement. If 20 years from now, all of you are young. If 20 years from you, each one of you want to be modern 20 years from now. 20 years from now, don't forget there will be three more generations of young people who have come behind you. Now already there is generation X, Y, Z, so many millennials, so many generations. There will be some other LMNO, PQ generations that will come after you. They will have a new language. They will have a new method of talking, new jargon, new technologies, and they will beat you to it. At that time, if you want to be modern 20 years from now, the answer to be modern 20 years from now is to study Swamiji today. If you study Swamiji today, you will find in them the ideas that will make you contemporary tomorrow, because their ideas are so deep. And each idea as it comes out will help you solve so many problems in the years to come. So my message to you, my friends, is this: that Swami Vivekananda's greatness is growing over time. You will find that 10 years from now, so many more people will talk about Swamiji's ideas and theories, that it is, you are actually fortunate to get an opportunity among so many thousands of youth to be in environments like this, to have an institute like VIHE in Hyderabad. We don't even have such institutes in other cities. To have an institute like that, to have people dedicated to pouring and sharing Swamiji's ideas to you in your own language, in your own, along with your friends, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Please take it, because Swamiji is going to become even more important tomorrow than he was today or he was yesterday. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the invaluable insights on Swamiji's message with us today. Thank you very much, sir. It is a privilege to introduce Sharath Vivek Sagar, sir. Sharath Vivek Sagar is a globally renowned social entrepreneur, noted thought leader, powerful orator, and a widely followed youth icon. Sagar, sir, is the first Indian to be elected president of the student government of Harvard Graduate School of Education. Raised in small towns and villages of Bihar, Sir founded the national organization Dexterity Global at the age of 16. Today, leaders trained in the Dexterity system have received over rupees 175 crores in scholarships from top universities across the world, served as India's youth ambassadors to the UN, won national and international awards and started their own leadership initiatives. President Barack Obama invited Sagar Sir to the White House. Forbes listed him on the Global Forbes 30 Under 30 list. Rockefeller Foundation inducted him in the list of 100 next century innovators. The Nobel Peace Center invited him to the Nobel Peace Prize ceremony. The Queen of England included him in the Queen's Young Leaders list. Today's most watched television show in India, Kaun Banega Crorepati, invited Sharad Sir as the youngest expert on the show. Besides his organizational leadership, Sagar Sir is regarded as a firebrand orator and thought leader and is invited to speak at over 250 major stages across 20 plus states in an average year. Sir reaches over 5 million people per month on social media. Michigan State University puts Sagar Sir on its social entrepreneurship syllabus. The government of Taiwan quoted him on their social impact agenda, while the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission features Sagar Sir on their annual calendar. In 2022, Dainik Jagran bestowed upon Sagar Sir the Editor's Choice Award for India's Youth Icon for representing the bold face of young India and redefining education and leadership for millions of young Indians. May I now request Shraddha Vivek Sagar Sir to address the gathering.
My pranams at the feet of Thakurma and Swamiji. My pranams to most revered Vice President Maharaj who's here. My pranams to President Maharaj of Ramakrishna Mutt, Hyderabad. My pranams to our Swamijis who are here, our brahmacharis. My namaskars to everyone. It is after such illuminating speeches right from morning till now, I wonder what difference can I make. I was wondering, and I realized there is one difference I am already making. I am the difference between your lunch and this moment. So with that difference outlined, 131 years later we are gathered here looking at the difference Swamiji made to our lives and that of the journey of humankind ever since he arrived on this planet. There are many of us who might be 18, some of us might be 80, and looking back 131 years might look like too tedious and sometimes too boring a task. So if we just look at the first 13 years of our lives, if you are 20 in this room, imagine news that you have consumed in the first 13 years of your life. If you are 80 in this room, you can imagine the same. If you look at the language that the world used for many of our projects, many of our people, and the country in general, I can tell you without a doubt that in newspapers, India as a land of snake charmers and elephant riders was a normal, common topic. When we think about Swamiji and when we hear stories, people talking about Swamiji, do mothers feed kids to crocodiles back in India? When we wonder what it was like, it is not too tough to imagine how the world saw India at that point in time till Swamiji arrived in America and swept the world by a storm, a positive storm. But even in our lifetimes we have seen those things. It is funny that when we looked at our space program, when we successfully ran it, there was a major newspaper in our country that had a common man walking up to the space club, knocking on the door with a snake around his neck. When we look at that picture, there are two things that are extremely clear. Swamiji 131 years ago gave the world a message in said and unsaid words that what is Western is not modern, what is modern is not Western. There is something deeper about it. There is something more at its core. The hardware can shine, the software lives through. It is that software that Swamiji installed in the world order, and from UNESCO's charter, to declaration of human rights, to formation of multilateral and global organizations, to the education of a child, to the treatment of somebody at a healthcare facility, in the stories grandparents give to their grandchildren and the education teachers impart to their students. In all of that, we see that software running and active. As Srinivas ji was beautifully pointing it out, majority of world affairs that are being taken care of today, whether we think about political leadership, whether we talk about religious leadership, whether we talk about spiritual thought or education, or just the upliftment of humankind, it is Swamiji's ideas that are echoing in every part of the world. There is something very distinct about Swamiji. My brush with Swamiji, as most revered Vice President Maharaj was talking about at the beginning, private centers. My brush with Swamiji was at a private center, at a very small place in Bihar, a place called Chhapra, where Latu Maharaj came from, Srimad Swami Adbhutanandji Maharaj, the only non-Bengali speaking disciple of Sri Ramakrishna Dev, a Hindi speaker from a state of Bihar. I was a small child growing up in small villages and small towns of Bihar. It was in Chhapra that we came across a private ashram that local devotees had started in the name of Sri Ramakrishna, to spread the message of Swami Vivekananda, to bring more kids and adults and elderly into that larger main-fold of thought that has powered the journey of so many who have come before us, and that will continue to power journeys for thousands of years. I was a small child, lived in rented houses. On the four walls of every house, and I have repeated it many, many times at many, many platforms, quotations of Sri Ramakrishna Dev, Ma Sharada Devi and Swami Vivekananda were pasted in English and in Hindi. I was a small child reading Swamiji. My parents told me, my father especially, even when you cannot understand Swamiji, you underline Swamiji. So I would underline whatever lines were there. I spent some time homeschooled, little time in the school system, and two incredible opportunities in undergraduate and postgraduate times at major university campuses around the world. When I look at Swamiji's message I looked at it for myself, and it was very clear. It looked like Swamiji was saying, build yourself to build Bharat. But Swamiji was saying something very clearly and distinctly as well, and that message was, every nation has a mission in the world, and India's mission is to guide humanity. I know many of our young friends seated in this hall might wonder that the words of these monks and management gurus, the words of the speakers here today, how much relevance do they have in our immediate lives and in the world outside? When we think about every nation has a mission in the world and India's mission is to guide humanity, what Swamiji proclaimed with confidence and clarity, we must look around at the land of snake charmers and the land of elephant riders. When it was getting its political independence on August 15, 1947, there was a young Indian student who was finishing his degree at University of Cambridge. He had studied space science and he felt that his educational journey must merge with India's national journey. If we try and understand Swamiji's educational ideas, one idea will be clear to us, that our education is of no use. Swamiji in fact says that he holds us as traitors if, despite having been educated at the cost of others, we pay the least heed to them. But at a facility at University of Cambridge, at a research facility, one student realizes that mission. He sees that his educational journey shall merge with India's national journey. He comes back and tells India's first Prime Minister that India too can become a space power, that space should not just be the fortress of Soviet Russia and United States alone. And because of that, there are a few things happened, and I want to contrast it with Swamiji's ideas. Because of that, today we launch our space program for a quarter of a budget that Hollywood takes to launch a space movie. Because of that, today when India became a space power, we did not start a space race that put and plunged the entire world into a Cold War. We built a space program where countries like Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, countries in the SARC order, could just reach out to India and launch their space program as well, could launch their space shuttle as well. So when Swamiji says that every nation has a mission in the world and India's mission is to guide humanity, if India shall try and discover and continue to explore space for the greater welfare of humankind, India will lift everyone up. It will not plunge the world into a series of Cold Wars or into a series of hostilities around the world. In this very country, at the very same time when India was getting its political independence, we did not have enough milk in our country to feed our growing population. A young student studying at Michigan State University would return to India and go to, as he would recall, the sleepy town of Anand, where he would meet a gentleman by the name of Tribhuvandas Patel, who was working on a project to give enough milk to this country. When this young student came back, what he was doing was again something that Swamiji wanted young people like us to do. He tried to merge his educational journey with India's national journey. A dairy technologist decided to give 5 decades of his life, worked with 9 prime ministers of India, yet at the end of his life, career and journey, the most expensive possession he had was a watch that his grandson had given him. That Verghese Kurian, the America that he had left and come back from in 1948, in 1998, we had overtaken that United States of America as the largest milk producer in the world. When we did milk production, it did not give rise to a market monopoly, it gave rise to the idea of a cooperative. That idea of a cooperative, lifelong, it is a beautiful story that the milk producers of Gujarat, the milk producers of Bombay Presidency had gone to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and told him that we are facing great atrocities and great troubles both at the same time. On one end we cannot live freely, on the other end we cannot sell freely. And Sardar Patel, the visionary that he was, he said, if we come into the main fold right now, it will be seen as a movement for political independence and they will curb it immediately. So you organize yourselves, you come up with a new idea and a new model, how milk producers in this country can organize and build something of value. When this task was given to a person who would later go on to become the 3rd Prime Minister of India, Shri Morarji Desai went to Gujarat and he met with a group of Congress party workers. Majority of them were social workers, and he said, we are going to build a cooperative of milk producers. Who wants to be the president? Everyone raised their hands, and there was only one person who had not raised his hand. So Mr. Morarji Desai said, Shri Morarji Desai asked Tribhuvandas Patel, you should be the president. He said, but I am the only one who has not raised his hand. He said, and why do you not raise your hand? So Tribhuvandas Patel said, if it is an organization as such, where milk producers will organize themselves, and it will be a cooperative, it does not need a president. And Morarji Desai said, that is exactly the kind of president we need for a movement like this. And when we look at that idea, Swamiji talked about dasasya dasa, servant of the servants, which people like Professor Robert Greenleaf and many business school professors after that would take forward as an idea of servant leadership around the world, and they would teach management leaders this. But look at it, our space program did not start a space race. It uplifted economies around the world, emerging economies, to launch space shuttles. Our milk production did not put the world down. Our milk production only made it possible to have the idea of servant leadership at the forefront. The model of cooperative milk production at the forefront. We were able to fight monopoly and the autocracy of one leader at the top. There's a beautiful story from Mr. Kurian's life. When one of the first headquarters of Amul were being built, a very senior leader was visiting. Kurian and this person, they were seated in their office and they heard loud noise outside. So Mr. Kurian called his assistant immediately and asked, what is this loud noise? Where is it coming from? He said, all the farmers have gathered outside and they want to enter the building. So Kurian said, what is stopping them from entering the building? The secretary said, if they enter the building right now, not a brick of this entire headquarter will be left. Kurian said, and what are you waiting for? He said, it has not been inaugurated yet. You will go, Mr. Chief Guest will go, then the building will be opened for the farmers. Kurian said, it is true, if they enter right now, not a brick will be left. But if they do not enter right now, this organization will not be left. That is the idea of Bharat. That is the thought of leadership and management that we take in our country. When we look at metro construction in the world, the rest of the world made metros, and phenomenal ones. We were not the first country in the world to build metros. We were not the largest country in the world to be building metros. One of our civil engineers, who when he was barely 29 or 30 years of age, had connected Rameshwaram again by rebuilding Pamban Bridge, a task that was considered impossible. When that gentleman went to Japan and he looked at the model of the metro, he did not know Japanese, and clearly he did not know enough about metro construction right then. But that gentleman requested the Japanese, you let me read your map a little bit. let me read the signals a little bit, the symbols a little bit. I will go back and translate your language into mine and this dream into reality. When that gentleman finished the project, Forbes magazine interviewed him and talked to him about how colossal a project Mr. Sridharan had completed. Mr. Sridharan was not talking about the enormity of the money that went in or the punctuality of the train that the world was talking about. He said there was a small vision. An old mother should be able to reunite with the family at the end of a long day after having earned a little bit of money and used that independently and safely to travel from one place to the other. That philosophy and vision was at the core of India's metro project, and no wonder when in the rest of the world metros were built, they called their people the Metro Man. We did that here too. But the book that we wrote about E. Sridharan, we did not call it the Metro Man or the civil engineer, we called it the Karma Yogi. When Swamiji says, every nation has a mission in the world and India's mission is to guide humanity, the humanity that he guided on September 11, 1893, the humanity that is guided by the Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature, be it the space program, be it the milk production, be it the metro construction. When we build metros, what comes out from the core of it is the idea of Karma Yoga that Swamiji held dear for young people like us. Swamiji's idea for young people was specially to be the closest to Karma Yoga, to be Karma Yogis in our life, in our classrooms and offices, in our playgrounds and families, to be people who can totally commit themselves to what they are doing while being detached from the results. When we look at all of these ideas and when we look at what Swamiji changed in the world, Swamiji changed the idea that the West was modern and everything that was modern was West. That was the software that was needed to run the world. Maharaj very beautifully put it, it was not Swamiji conquering the world as such. It was an important need that was there, an important vacuum and void that the world was feeling, and Swamiji filled that, almost healing the world not just to recovery, but springboarding it into a future where multilateral organizations, where international cooperation, where human refinement and excellence could take the world forward. When we continue looking at that, what Swamiji said on September 11, 1893 almost came crashing down on September 11 at the wake of the 21st century. It was sad and devastating that 2 towers came down in New York City. And the message of Swamiji that we do not just believe in tolerance, we believe in universal acceptance. If we would have learned that in our classrooms and in our communities, that would not have happened. It is not that I say that you say a different thing and I say a different thing and I tolerate you. We say, you might say it differently and I might say it differently, I accept you. That idea of acceptance. When we say I tolerate all my friends, it is clearly not a healthy friendship. When I say I accept all my friends, that is the healthiest friendship possible. But what happened on September 11? Thank God for Swamiji that when in the rest of the world, people of a particular community were being targeted, where they were being sent to jails without even the promise of an attorney. In India, there was a Muslim citizen who had become the first citizen of India, the president of the Republic of India. And that citizen, that Muslim citizen in this country was a person who would play the veena, read the Gita, bow to Ma Saraswati, and as an educator, as a scientist, as a statesman, President Kalam was showing to the world what Swamiji meant when he was talking about that higher self that we can realize, that higher ideal we can live. With vacuum of that Vedantic thought, with vacuum of that coming together of people, on one end in the world, towers were falling and people were being put behind prison without even being taken care of their basic human right. In our country, the person showing the path forward was a person who was living Swamiji's idea, both for an individual and for India. That India's first citizen was a proud Muslim who would read the Gita and play the veena and bow to Ma Saraswati. That is the power of Indian thought, and that is India's journey in modern times. It was here on this day last year that I had the opportunity to say something that I repeat to you. I know we take great pride in India. We take great pride in Swamiji. Many times we do not go beyond that one line. There's a huge conversation in the world that India did G20 presidency last year. And many times people tell you that every year some country does the presidency, it is by turn. Of course, that is a fact, but the greater fact is that when Swamiji says, build yourself to build Bharat, when Bharat builds itself, it will lift the rest of the world. It was very clear when the whole world came to India for G20 presidency. Every country had passed on the presidency of G20 to G20 from one nation to another. When it came to us, we realized the greater call of humankind. We realized the message of Atmanu Mokshartham Jagatitayecha, the welfare of humankind and the salvation of self, that commitment to both. And when we received it, we said, our brothers and sisters of the African Union must be a part of G20. So when we received G20, we passed on G21. We did not just pass on G20 itself. I say this to you today because our tips and tricks, we can learn it on YouTube and in a small conversation with a friend. Our strategy and tactics we can learn at MBA programs and at our best management institutions. But the philosophy and vision, if it is not there, it cannot drive an organization. It cannot fuel an individual. It cannot make learning meaningful. And what we do at the Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, what the Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature has given to the world, it has allowed us to move a step forward from tips and tricks, go beyond strategy and tactics, and understand the deeper philosophy and have a core vision, a vision that powers us forward, and a philosophy that helps us to do it harmoniously. And that is the reason why today, when we celebrate 131 years of Swamiji's speech in Chicago, it is important that in the world we realize that production of milk is not the core part of our work. It is the empowerment of the normal, ordinary farmer and the family that keeps a cow and tries to produce milk for self and people in the community and hopes that they can make the bare minimum to take care of their loved ones. When we build a metro, it is not a large project where money will come and project check boxes will be marked. It is to ensure that an old lady can go from A to B while being safe and the ride being affordable. When we do want to split the finest electron and enter the finest part of that cell or just go into outer space and explore and discover, it is not to put another country down. It is not to outcompete, outlast, outbeat or outpace everybody. It is to uplift everybody. It is a message of Swamiji that reminds us that a poor child on the coast of Rameshwaram can go on to be the president of this country and missile man of this country, and because of the missiles that he makes, our premiership, our presidency will not have its head hanging in shame. Our wars will not put a shame to our people. It will be an internal security that will bring peace to the world. It will be a nuclear program that will bring electricity to classrooms of young children. It will be the higher purpose, the higher ideal of what the rest of the world has been doing. The phenomenal, enormous and glorious task of taking our country forward, it rests on our shoulders. As students and teachers, as citizens enlightened and awakened, blessed with the message of Swamiji, but not just the message, but his life, his story, his example, the greatest possible sacrifice that a human can begin to imagine to make in life. The sacrifice of everything that a young person can dream of to do everything that the world needs. I hope 131 years later, this evening when you go off to take some rest and this night when you sleep, you are reminded of how Swamiji slept on September 11, 1893 in Chicago. Swamiji felt that it was the gutter of fame. Swamiji felt that as long as there were tears in the eyes of anybody in our country, he could not sleep peacefully. It was a message that the first Prime Minister of this country repeated when the father of the nation was lost. He said, as long as there are tears in the eyes of any citizen in our country, our work will not be over, Bapu's work will not be complete. And of course, Bapu's love for this motherland had grown 1,000-fold reading Swamiji. So on the night of September 11, 1893, after great glory, Swamiji was thinking of the great work that lied in front of us. On September 11, 2024, as we try to take some rest and go off to sleep only for a short while, may we wake up as enlightened, awakened citizens, committed and dedicated to a more important national cause that must uplift humanity And that is the reason why we say again and again, Uttishtata Jagrita Prapyavaran Nipodita. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing with us invaluable insights and thought-provoking ideas today. Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to request Prashanti Vinod from Chennai to please come forward and present a short talk on this occasion.
Jai Ramakrishna. My namaskars and pranams to all the revered Swamis present here and to distinguished speakers on the dais from whom I take inspiration for today's talk, and to all my dear friends, young friends who are in the audience and the elders who are here. It's an immense joy and happiness to be here. 131 years of historic speech of Swami Vivekananda in Chicago, and 25th year stepping in VIHE, the Silver Jubilee celebrations of Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence. Today, I would like to take a few minutes to reflect on what I interpret from Swamiji's message. There are three parts that I would like to add to this talk. I'll begin with the personal level and move on to the national and international level. And I'll keep it as short as possible because I know we are running out of time and most of my young friends are also very hungry. So to start off with the personal level, I have been a kid. Of course, all of us are a mixture of strengths and weaknesses. I have been a kid with a lot of weaknesses, and one of the weaknesses which always bothered me was self-doubt. I used to doubt myself a lot. Before giving a speech or before starting a task, I used to ask myself a lot of questions, whether I'm capable to do this, whether I will be able to do this, or if I take this task, will I be able to finish it on time? So most of my time goes in that thinking and overthinking that I do not start that work, and I used to regret a lot about it. And this is when I felt Swamiji's message to be very relevant in my life as a student. Swamiji says, what you think, that you become. If you think yourself as weak, weak you become. If you think yourself as strong, strong you become. Whenever I tell this to myself, I get a lot of self-confidence and strength from that message, and that makes me to continue with my work. I'll give you an example from today. I always had this mindset that I won't be able to deliver a speech or a talk whenever I get an opportunity without having a piece of paper in front of me. But today, before coming here, I decided that I'm not going to carry that piece of paper, because carrying a piece of paper is absolutely fine, but having a mindset that without having that piece of paper I will not speak or I won't be able to flow with the conversation is what I felt was very unhealthy. So before coming here for today's talk, I kept that piece of paper in my room and I walked here just remembering Swamiji and the confidence and that message that he has given through his sayings and phrases. So this is on a very personal level. Moving on into a national level. We all have an immense responsibility in front of us. Viksit Bharat 2047. Each and every youngster here has a huge role to play in the development of our country. We are envisioning a developed India by the year 2047. That is when our India attains 100 years of independence. On that day, we envision our country to be developed. Can development happen only through the physical development like infrastructure? No. Human development is very, very important, and which all of us are aware of. And we also know where we lack in that particular human development and personality development. And there is where I relate Swamiji on a national level. All his messages are for us, for the youngsters, who have a great responsibility to march on and take the ideas forward and take our country forward. For the next 20 plus years, every single day is very important to all of us to work on the message of Swamiji and take our country forward. Finishing it off with an international level, Sir has spoken about many fields, many themes when he gave speech. I would like to touch upon three important challenges that I feel that we face today on an international level. First, the political instability. We are all in a globalized society. So challenge anywhere in this world is challenge to all of us, and we all have to face it. So when we think about this political instability and the kind of violence that is happening around the world, we can directly relate Swamiji's message of unity and peace and universal brotherhood there. We have our leaders releasing a press statement recently about we cannot find solutions on a battlefield. We need to come and negotiate and sit, and then only we will be able to come up with solutions. Violence can never be a solution for a problem. And Swamiji's message is nothing but that unity and unity and that inclusiveness of everybody, and that message of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam that we oversee in our future. And the second challenge that I feel is the technological disruptions and artificial intelligence. Swamiji's message, how can we interpret that there? An engineer who is working, I hope there are many engineers in the crowd today. So the engineers who are working tomorrow on developing a new technology, by imbibing Swamiji's message, will be able to develop a technology that will actually that will actually try and help us to grow, and that will not try and replace human beings in the future. A technology is something that will help us in complementing human beings, but not replacing human beings. And even we as individuals will be able to develop our potential to that level, so that we will be able to grow more and more and contribute towards a society. And the third challenge that I feel that we all have to face on an international level is the climate crisis. So it's about becoming a responsible consumer. It's about becoming a responsible producer. How will we gain that responsibility? That responsibility comes when we start feeling for our nation, when we start feeling for our globe. And that is the message of Swamiji. A great environmentalist once said that we have not inherited this earth from our elders or our forefathers, but we have borrowed it from our children. So it's all our responsibility to make sure that we give a sustainable earth, a sustainable environment to our future generation for them to grow and flourish. So with that, I would like to conclude my talk, but just before that, I would like to give a little task for my young friends here. So we have 3 more months to go before we end 2024, right? 3.5 months to go. I know there should be one activity which all of us have in our heart, which we really wanted to do, but we were not able to do that activity because of some kind of fear that we have within us. So please think about it. It can be painting, it can be just coming up with a new venture or entrepreneurship, it can be anything, or going for a trek. You have not done it because you fear that what if I lose? Like for example, in today's speech, I really had this fear that what if I go out of the flow, and today I mean with God's grace I was able to do this. So likewise, all of us will be having some or the other activity, some or the other task in our mind where we wanted to do, but we don't do it because we have a fear of failing or fear of losing it. So please take up that activity and accomplish it and finish it off by the end of 2024, and pass this task to all your friends once you finish it off, and let your friends also pass the task to everyone. Through doing this, we will create an entire India, entire youth which is fearless, which is ready to conquer the world. It's okay if we make mistakes, but we are fearless and we are moving forward by learning from our mistakes and taking Swamiji's message forward. And if today I'm able to speak with this confidence, it's because of the training that I got from Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, and I was a part of Yuva Sangarsh, which is a national level youth leadership contest. I was an online student there, and Revered Swami Vivekananda Ji Maharaj and all various faculties from VIHE who are experts themselves guided us on various activities. And even Sharat sir was also a part of one of the meetings. So it was not just a contest of 5 rounds where you will be declared a winner and you will be given a certificate and award. No, that is not what Yuva Sangarsh is. Yuva Sangarsh is more than that. It is a personality development program. And I would appeal to all my young friends here, please participate in all the activities as much as possible that's conducted by VIHE. Because it's a blessing that we have personalities like Swami Vivekananda Ji Maharaj and others here who are always there to help us move forward in life. So please do participate, and that's my only appeal to all the youngsters, and I wish all the best to all of you, and may Swamiji guide us all with the strength and fearlessness. Thank you.
Thank you, Prashanti. I now request Pawan Deshmukh, Anna, faculty of Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, to present a short talk.
Well, pranams to most revered Vice President Maharaj, Adhyaksh Maharaj, and Shitikantananji Maharaj, and other chief guests and my dear past participants. As I'm representing the volunteer group and the faculty group at the Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence today, I got precisely 2.5 minutes to speak, and I'm going to wrap it up in that 2.5 minutes. Just trying to share, as we are marking one of the anniversaries of the Vivekananda's iconic speech at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago in 1893. We're also marking one of the anniversaries, the 25th anniversary of this very institute. So I'm quickly going to take a couple of minutes in trying to explain why we do what we do at this very institute. So I think when Vivekananda has instituted this whole organization called Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, we all know that he has given a mission statement, that every organization has a mission statement, and Vivekananda was very particular about that this organization is going to work for this particular mission statement, and he mentioned Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Hitayacha, for one's own personal salvation, for one's own individual development, and at the same time working for the betterment of society at large. So then when we are trying to weave these two elements together, I think what Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence does, and I think I also need to reiterate and also re-invoke and then try to echo one of the very interesting statements that the founder of this very institute, Swami Ranganathananji Maharaj, has been trying to invoke or elucidate in one of his lectures when he was giving Bhagavad Gita lectures in Hyderabad, Ramakrishna Math here. So he mentioned about a couple of things. He says, one, that he tries to quote Sir Julian Huxley, a 20th century biologist, in one of his books called Evolutionary Humanism. Julian Huxley writes that this physical evolution has come to a halt. Of course, we're not going to have any more physical evolution going further, but rather we have a new evolution coming, and that's called psychosocial evolution. And immediately Ranganathanji tries to make parallel with what Swamiji has been trying to ask us to do. Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Hitayacha, for one's own spiritual, psychological and emotional development and evolution, and at the same time trying to work for the betterment of society at large. The social evolution, as we can come together. And also Ranganathanji, moving further, he tries to mention this very interesting aspect called Abhyudaya. He defines it, Abhyudaya, and he says collective development. Can we come together as a unit? Can we come together as people that believe in each other, believe in their own potential, and then start working towards it? And just quoting Julian Huxley again, Ranganathanji says, then what are we going to do ahead? So what is our vision statement? How we can move further? Then Julian Huxley says, we need a new science, a science of human possibilities. And I think this is one such space. This very institute for the past 25 years has been trying to work on this very idea, trying to bring the young minds from age 10 to 60 and beyond, bringing them together, started identifying what areas can we really work on for one's own personal development, and also like what sir has already mentioned, Srinivas sir is talking about, the contributor mindset. Can we contribute for the betterment of society at large? I can't definitely change the whole world altogether, but can I contribute? So this is my invitation for all of us, the young youth here. So please come join this whole process of psychosocial revolution, and also start learning from each other, and then start becoming a better citizens like what Vivekananda has envisioned for all of us. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Anna. To commemorate this special event and as a token of respect and appreciation, I now request our Adhyaksha Maharaj, Swami Bodhamayananda Ji, to present a memento to our guest speakers. First, I request Adhyaksha Maharaj to present a memento to our guest speaker, Srinivas Venkatraman sir. I now request Adhyaksha Maharaj to present a memento to our guest speaker, Sharath Vivek Sagar sir. Please give a big round of applause, everyone.
ఉపన్యాసం ఇవ్వడానికి రాలేదు, భయపడకండి, కొంచెం ఓపిక. పెద్దలు ఉన్నారు. మీరు కాలేజ్ నుంచి ఇక్కడికి వచ్చారు, ఆయన బాంబే నుంచి వచ్చారు. ఏ దగ్గర? బాంబే దగ్గర. మీరు కాలేజ్ నుంచి హైదరాబాద్లోనే వచ్చారు, ఈయన పాట్నా నుంచి వచ్చారు. మళ్ళీ మధ్యాహ్నం 2:30కి వెళ్ళిపోవాలి. అంత ఓపికతో, అంత ఇష్టతో, నిష్ఠతో, శ్రద్ధతో మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటే ఇక్కడ గోవిందా గోవిందా జరుగుతుంది అక్కడ పిల్లలు. యాజ్ ఇఫ్ స్కై హ్యాస్ ఫాలన్ ఫ్రమ్ ది ఎర్త్. ఫ్యూచర్ ఇంజనీర్స్ ఇస్రోకి వెళ్తే వాచ్మెన్ జాబ్, బయట కూర్చొని వాట్సాప్ చూసుకోవాలంతే. కొంచెం ఓపిక. వివేకానంద స్థలానికి వచ్చినప్పుడు కొంచెం సాక్రిఫైస్ చేయాలి. అక్కడ -40 డిగ్రీ టెంపరేచర్లో చైనా బార్డర్లో సైనికులు మనల్ని రక్షిస్తున్నారు. మనకు అర్హత ఉందా రక్షించుకోవడానికి? 2 కొమ్ములు ఉన్నాయా? వివేకానంద ఆయన రక్తాన్ని కక్కారు భారతదేశం కోసం. ఓపిక, సహనం సర్వదుఃఖ నివారణం అని తెలుసుకోవాలి. అబ్జర్వ్ చేయాలి. సైంటిస్ట్, ఫ్యూచర్ టెక్నాలజిస్ట్ మీరు. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అనుకోండి. ఇంజనీరింగ్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్స్ అవ్వకండి, ఇంజనీర్స్ అవ్వండి. అబ్దుల్ కలాంతో పనిచేసిన ఆయన DRDO ఎక్స్ డైరెక్టర్ మీ ముందు కూర్చొని ఉన్నాడు. మా ఫ్రెండ్ డాక్టర్ చక్రవర్తి గారు. ఆయన ఉదయం నుంచి సాయంత్రం వరకు మీకోసం. సతీష్ ధావన్, అబ్దుల్ కలాం, విక్రమ్ సరాభాయ్ వాళ్ళందరితో DRDOలో నడిచి పాక్కుంటూ వెళ్ళి మిసైల్స్ తయారు చేశాడు చక్రవర్తి గారు. ఇంకొక అద్భుతమైన శిష్యుడు స్వామి సుహితాంజ గారి మంత్రదీక్ష శిష్యుడు, ఆధ్యాత్మిక శిష్యుడు. రష్యా నుంచి ఆల్ ద వే వచ్చి బెంగళూరులో 10 రోజులు ధ్యానం చేసి గురువు గారు ఇక్కడికి వస్తున్నానికి నమస్కారం చేయడానికి వచ్చి కూర్చున్నాడు. జకాఫ్ అనే ఉదయం నడుచుకొని వచ్చాడు బస్ స్టాండ్ నుంచి. జకాఫ్ జీ, ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్ టెలింగ్ వేర్ యూ హ్యావ్ కమ్ ఫ్రమ్ టు సీ యువర్ గురు ఆల్ ద వే ఇన్ ఇండియా. జకాఫ్ అంత ఇంట్రెస్ట్ వాళ్ళకి, త్యాగం చేస్తున్నారు. నువ్వు ఎక్కడున్నానంటే బిర్లా టెంపుల్ బస్ దిగాను, బెంగళూరు నుంచి నడుచుకొని వస్తున్నాను. ఎవరిని చూడడానికి? వాళ్ళ గురువు గారి పాదాలు పట్టుకోవడానికి. ఎక్కడ మాస్కో, ఎక్కడ హైదరాబాద్, ఎక్కడ బెంగళూరు, ఎక్కడ ఆధ్యాత్మికత. ఇవన్నీ మనకి అద్దంలాగా ముఖం అద్దంలో చూసుకొని దిద్దుకుంటారే, ఈ రోజుకి 20 సార్లు ఇవన్నీ మనకి అద్దాలు, మిరర్స్. చెక్ యువర్ మిస్టేక్స్, వేర్ యు ఆర్, వై యు ఆర్, హౌ యు ఆర్. మాకు రెస్ట్ లేదు. మీరేమో కాలేజీలో నిద్రపోతారు, బస్సులో వెళ్ళి నిద్రపోతూ ఉంటారు. 3:30కి మేము వెళ్తాం వివేకానంద స్టాచ్యూ దగ్గరికి. అక్కడి నుంచి మనం నడుచుకొని వస్తాం. ఎందుకు? ఒక్కరోజు స్వామీజీకి త్యాగం చేయకపోతే ఏ సినిమా స్టార్ వస్తే ఏం లాభం? చెప్పారు కదా ఇందాక ఉపన్యాసంలో, ఆల్ స్టార్స్ విల్ గో అవే ఎక్సెప్ట్ ద వివేకానంద స్టార్. ఆ నక్షత్రం మాత్రం ధ్రువ నక్షత్రం లాగా ఉంటుంది. 130 సంవత్సరాలతో ఆయన ఇచ్చిన ఉపన్యాసాన్ని మనం వినలేకపోతున్నామే. వివేకానందని వినకపోతే హైదరాబాద్ యువకులు బాహర్ శర్వాని, అందరు పరేషాని. ఏడుస్తూ ఉంటాం మనం. సూసైడ్లు ఎక్కువ అవుతాయి, రేప్స్ ఎక్కువ అవుతాయి. మరొక కలకత్తా, హైదరాబాద్లో కూడా జరుగుతుంది. జాగ్రత్త. బెంగళూరులో జరగలే, హైదరాబాద్లో జరగలే. గణేష ఉత్సవాలు జరుగుతున్నాయి, డీజే మ్యూజిక్తో గణేషుని నిమజ్జనం చేస్తున్నాం మనం. స్త్రీలను అవమానిస్తున్నాం. కనకదుర్గమ్మ ఏడుస్తుంది విజయవాడలో, భద్రకాళి హనుమకొండలో కన్నీరు కారుస్తుంది. అందుకే అన్నారు శ్రీనివాస్ గారు, డైనామిక్ స్పిరిచువాలిటీ. గుడికి వెళ్ళి వెనకాలకు వచ్చి గణేశుడి బుద్ధి మనలో పెరిగిందా లేదా? 1% స్త్రీల మీద రెస్పెక్ట్, అమ్మా అని నమస్కారం చేసే భక్తి ఉందా లేదా? Instead of seeing the external beauty and touching a woman and spoiling our culture. వివేకానంద అమెరికా నుంచి తిరిగి వస్తున్నప్పుడు రెండో విజిట్లో కైరో ఈజిప్ట్, the ship stopped for changeover. There are 3 hours time. And Vivekananda walked through the streets of Cairo because there were a lot of shopping malls, shops. ఒక షాప్ ఒక రోడ్లో వెళ్తున్నారు వివేకానంద, గల్లీ, along with one American disciple. There were a group of young girls who were laughing, joking, showing their body to all the men there. It was a prostitute lane, red light area in Cairo. Vivekananda ఏమిటది, ఎవరది అని అడిగారు. Then this man hesitating explained that they are selling their bodies. స్వామీజీకి ఏమి ఇదవలే, ఆత్మభావం అయింది, ప్యూరెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్యూర్. He was walking, looking at them. ఒక 20 మంది మహిళలు బయటకు వచ్చారు, నవ్వుతూ గిగ్లింగ్ చేస్తూ. వివేకానంద ఏమి మాట్లాడలే, ఒక కన్నీళ్లు కారిస్తూ ఒక మాట అన్నారంట. వాట్ ఏ పిటీ, దే హ్యావ్ కెప్ట్ దేర్ డివినిటీ ఆన్ దేర్ బాడీ. ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు స్పానిష్ భాషలో. దే వర్ ఆల్ ఫ్రమ్ స్పెయిన్, హ్యూమన్ ట్రాఫికింగ్. వాట్ ఏ పిటీ, దే హ్యావ్ కెప్ట్ దేర్ డివినిటీ ఆన్ దేర్ బ్యూటీ, ఆన్ దేర్ బాడీ. ఆ రియాక్షన్ ఎలా ఉండింది అంటే ప్రతిధ్వనించింది. ఇట్ ఎకోర్డ్ బ్యాక్ ఇన్ ద మైండ్స్ ఆఫ్ దట్ యంగ్ గర్ల్స్. దెన్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ అట్మాస్ఫియర్ చేంజ్, దే సాట్ ఆన్ ద గ్రౌండ్, డిడ్ నమస్కారం టు స్వామి వివేకానంద. సమ్ టచ్డ్ హిస్ ఫీట్, సమ్ టచ్డ్ హిస్ డ్రెస్. దాంట్లో ఒక మహిళ about 22 years, హే వినో, నవ్వుతున్నావు. ఇదే వచ్చిన చిక్కు మీతో. నా దగ్గర పప్పు ఉడకదు, ఏ కాలేజ్ చెప్పి వస్తావు ఇంటికి. సీరియస్ మ్యాటర్ ఇది. చెప్తుంటే మళ్ళీ జోకేస్తున్నాను. ఏ సినిమా చూస్తున్నాను? సిబిఐ కావాలా ఎంక్వైరీ? విను బుర్ర కొంచెం ఓపెన్ చేయి, అప్పుడు కడుపు కూడా బాగుంటుంది, బాగా తినచ్చు. వన్ ఆఫ్ ద లేడీస్ covered her face, ముఖం తిప్పుకొని ఉంది. దెన్ హర్ ఫ్రెండ్స్కి చెప్తుంది, హౌ క్యాన్ ఐ సీ ద మ్యాన్ హూ ఇస్ గాడ్ హిమ్సెల్ఫ్ విత్ దిస్ ఇంప్యూర్ ఐస్. స్పానిష్ భాషలో ఒక మాట్లాడిందంట, హాంబ్రే దే దయాస్ అని. ఏమిటది హాంబ్రే దే దయాస్ అంటే? హీఈస్ అ మ్యాన్ ఆఫ్ గాడ్, హీఈస్ అ మ్యాన్ ఆఫ్ గాడ్ అని ఏడ్చుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోయిందట ఇంట్లోకి. స్వామీజీ ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళ తల మీద స్పర్శించి ఆశీర్వాదం చేసి కన్నీళ్లు కార్చి మళ్ళా తిరిగి షిప్లోకి ఎక్కారు. దట్ ఈస్ వివేకానంద ఫర్ యూ, హూ ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ ద లైఫ్ ఆఫ్ ద పీపుల్ ఇన్ ద స్ట్రీట్స్. ఆ సందేశం ఆ చెత్త మనసులో ఎన్నుంటే ఆర్జీకేఆర్ హాస్పిటల్లో ఆలోచించండి. థింక్ వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఇన్ Hyderabad colleges. This is a place, this is a laboratory where you are sitting, my dear young friends. This is not a fancy dress competition. Vivekananda is watching you. Venkateshwara Swami is watching you. బొమ్మ కాదది, తిరుమల వాళ్ళ పూజలతో చేసి ప్రాణప్రతిష్ఠ చేసిన విగ్రహం అది. దిస్ కాల్డ్ వెంకటేశ్వర హాల్. టీటీడీ వాళ్ళకి సొమ్మిది, టీటీడీ వాళ్ళ ప్రాపర్టీ ఇది, మేము ఉపయోగించుకుంటున్నాం అంతే. ఇట్ ఈస్ దేర్ ఇన్ దర్ అకౌంట్, నాట్ ఇన్ రామకృష్ణ అకౌంట్. అయితే ఇన్నర్ అకౌంటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ అది. బయట ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్కి ఎవరు టీటీడీ ఎన్టీఆర్ గారు చెప్పిన రూల్ అది. వీ విల్ డూ అవర్ సెల్ఫ్. బట్ రామకృష్ణ మఠం మీద ప్రేమ, మా రంగనాథాంజీ గారి మీద ప్రేమ కలిసి 25 లక్షలు ఇచ్చి ఒక హాల్ కట్టండి. ఓన్లీ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఇస్ వెంకటేశ్వర హాల్ అని పెట్టండి. మా పూజారులు వచ్చి స్వామి విగ్రహం ప్రతిష్ఠిస్తారు. అక్కడ కూర్చొని ఉన్నారు మహాస్వామి ఏడుకొండల వాడు. ఇటువైపు వివేకానంద కూర్చొని ఉన్నారు. బయట వివేకానంద జాగృతంగా నడి రోడ్డును చూస్తూ ఉన్నారు వందల నించొని. సో ద ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ షుడ్ కమ్ ఫ్రమ్ విదిన్, నాట్ ఎక్స్టర్నల్ ప్రొపల్షన్. External propulsion can take you to wrong direction. You can become a misguided missile. ఎంత ఎనర్జీ ఉందో మనకు తెలియదు. But Vivekananda says, don't break India, rebuild India. That is what Srinivasan sir is doing in Bombay last 28 years, making a syllabus of Vivekananda to the governments of India also. Tomorrow he is going to Delhi from Mumbai. Why? To inaugurate Mission Karma Yogi philosophy for all the secretariat staff in New Delhi, ordered by the Prime Minister of India. Prime Minister बोला था एक मीटिंग में, हमको कर्मचारी नहीं चाहिए, कर्मयोगी चाहिए भारतवर्ष में. कर्मचारी అంటే గాడిద మోసుకొని వెళ్తుంది చందనంని. దాని వాల్యూ తెలుసా గాడిదకి? దాని భారం తెలుసు అంతే. 50 కిలోలు తీసుకువెళ్తున్నా, కొన్ని గెడ్డేస్తారు నాకు అంతే. చందనం millions of dollars. So we want karma yogis, which Srinivas and his team of 35 people of the best IITians, best IIMs, brains, they have sacrificed their personal interest and along with Srinivas making syllabus after syllabus for all class of people and giving training to people, which we are also involved. He gives training to our people in Hyderabad. We should learn from such people. And Sharat Sagar working for the youngsters in the one Dalit, one most backward community in what you call in Bihar, in Patna, has gone to Pennsylvania University at 2.5 crore scholarship. This is Unnata Bharata, not politics, not SC/ST reservations. లోపల సత్తా ఉంటే స్వర్గ ద్వారాలు తెరుచుకుంటాయి నీకు అవసరం. శరత్ సార్ ఈజ్ వర్కింగ్ అట్ ది రూట్ కాజ్ ఆఫ్ ది ప్రాబ్లం. ఇవన్నీ పెద్దలు వస్తూ ఉంటారు. 25 సంవత్సరాల ఒక ఉత్సవం నిన్న ప్రారంభమైంది. వీ విల్ నాట్ స్టాప్ టిల్ నెక్స్ట్ September 10, 2025. Go to the colleges, yesterday we launched a program. Other friends came from your colleges. It is called Know India, Love India and Serve India. జ్ఞాన భక్తి సేవ చేస్తే వికసిత భారత, లేకపోతే కుంచిత భారత, contracted India. It will explode any direction. So we want to organize these programs, have a good lunch, and one book will be given to you for all newcomers. Call to the nation, Vivekananda's call on 11 September he gave to the world, but to the country he gave a special call. That book will be given to you. Along with a small brochure, it's just a big brochure containing first lecture of Vivekananda Chicago address with a beautiful photograph, and a certificate, online certificate arrangements will be made by QR scan code, and it contains the first lecture with a small biography and activities of Hyderabad Math. These are all free distribution for all of you on this historic day. Okay? So keep your mind open, keep your heart open, allow Swamiji to enter. Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, pakkana bettandi avanni. You are a human being of India, you are a citizen of India, you are student of human excellence, and let us make India great as Vivekananda wanted. Hum honge kamyab ek din. Wish you all the best. May God bless you.
There are few announcements to be made about regarding this certificate distribution as well as lunch prasadam. So for the certificate distribution, I request all the college coordinators to go to VIHE office to collect books for their college students, and the individual participants and devotees can take the books and collect the e-certificates from VIHE office. For the lunch prasadam, for the ladies and girls, the lunch prasadam has been arranged in Puja Mandapam. The girls will go from the back side of this auditorium, that is the back door of this auditorium, through Grita Darshan and towards the Puja Mandapam. For all gents and boys, the food counters are arranged in front of VIHE building, that is on the VIHE road. All the gents will move from the side doors of this hall towards the VIHE shed, and we request you all to participate in the garlanding ceremony and walk of Swami at the Swami Vivekananda statue, and participate in the SAMPRITI DIVAS walk. And we request all the college students, all the devotees to assemble near Tank Bun by 3:15 p.m. So with Shanti Mantra, we'll conclude our event. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tatsat. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrutyorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tatsat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Thank you everyone. I request everyone to please be seated. So all the volunteers, please guide our participants towards the respective venues. I again repeat, all the ladies will go to the Puja Mandapam from the back side of this hall from Gita Darshan towards the lunch prasadam. We request everyone to be a little patient. Our volunteers will guide you row by row. And there is one more important announcement. An exhibition and a pictorial representation of Swami Vivekananda's Chicago addresses has been arranged in Gita Darshan. After the lunch prasadam, all the participants can go to Gita Darshan and have the experience of Swami Vivekananda's Chicago address pictorial presentation. So I request everyone to please be patient. Boys at the back, please settle down. Our volunteers will guide you row by row. So I again request all the college coordinators to go to VIHE office to collect books and e-certificates for your students. And all the individual devotees and participants can directly go to VIHE office and collect their books and e-certificates. After the lunch prasadam, you can all go to Gita Darshan and view the pictorial representation of Swami Vivekananda's Chicago